Hello, good morning, intergalactic, you who are passing by here on this Saturday, December 28th. Man, I opened the computer here, our onboard computer, looked at the sky and was impressed with the synchronicity when I saw the energy of today, asking us to pay attention to our way of communicating. Because this week we spent the whole time talking about it, right? In addition to having heard several times about how to communicate, it is getting more and more difficult over the years. It seems that it is becoming an impossible mission. People are not working on this emotional intelligence, this ability to talk, and it needs to be worked on. On the contrary, it seems that people have been the flower of the skin, letting emotions choose their attitudes, their behaviors. In addition, there is Portuguese too, which is being more and more modified, more and more slang, acronyms, neologisms. It is getting harder and harder to understand what the other person is trying to say. The truth is that words are a communication instrument, but they do not form on their own. Behind them, we have a brain that is coordinating the text in a super fast way. This text is formed when it joins the information with our emotion. What I mean here is that the emotion that we are feeling will be transmitted through our words, but not only by the poor or rich choice of words, but also by the added intonation. And then, most of the time, we communicate automatically. But when we have an important presentation, when we have an important meeting, what do? We prepare. If our communication is a differential to be able to sell a product, for example, close a business, or make that successful flirt, we usually invest extra time before this conversation. We prepare. We want the other person to have no doubt about what we are going to say because we want him to buy our idea, don't we? What leads us is a basic math here. If it is important, I prepare myself, I do it carefully. If it is not important, or I deal with the situation as if it were already a guaranteed situation for me, I don't prepare myself. I don't put a Zillow. I've seen several memes. I may be working on a curatorship of memes here, but I've seen several memes about how it's not my obligation to step on eggs because of the trauma of others. But then I keep asking, but how do we feel when someone doesn't respect our pain, doesn't consider our pain? I don't know about you, but that's not cool for me. I even feel a lack of affection, as if my pain doesn't matter what I feel. So I feel a lack of consideration. Do you realize that when you have a lot at stake, our posture changes completely? Why is it so important that we are clear, respectful, and precise when it comes to closing a deal? And we allow ourselves to be doubtful, playful, not to mention disrespectful, evasive when we are talking to a friend or someone who has your affection? Today we ask that we take responsibility for the words we choose. It is logical that you can do your best, and yet the other will not understand. But then, you really did your best, with all due respect. Let's go back to the example of the business meeting. If you were to sell something that would make you a millionaire, at the time the deal was closed, how many times would you answer that silly question without feeling bad, without shouting, without being impatient, without offending the other? I don't know, but I would put my chips here because you will answer thousands, right? So you would probably still find new ways to set an example if necessary to make yourself understood. Let's bring this same affection to our daily life with the people close to us who are by our side, people who are dear to us. The universe is asking us to value dialogue, unity, and especially respect for our affections. Understood how to step on the soil of this path of Saturday? Let's hear what our messenger from the universe, Waldemar Falcão, can explain about this sky seen from up there.
Sky of December 28, 2024. On this Saturday around 7 a.m., the moon is at degree 7 of Sagittarius. So it's starting a conjunction with Mercury, which is around degree 15, and still maintaining the same triangulation that it was doing with Mars on Friday. The whole question there in this aspect in itself would be very interesting, but what happens is that this moon ends up creating that famous lens effect of increase in the entire square between Saturn and the opposition of Mercury and Jupiter. So the alternative that we recommend is to focus our efforts on the good conversation that is taking place between Mercury, Moon, and Mars, and pay attention to the possible exaggerations that we can make in our positions because of the opposition between Mercury and Jupiter, as well as possibly some disagreements that we may notice during this day. As an old saying goes, not so much to the sea, not so much to the earth.
Summarizing then. 1. If these bulletins have generated any kind of resonance with you, send them to someone you want to see well. There may be someone who needs to hear this message. Besides, when you do this, when you press the share button, you help to expand this circle of ours here. And then, to drill this bubble and reach new sidereal spaces, we need many people showing this algorithm that it is worth making this message reach more people. 2. Well then, Mazinho told us that the day continues with that disposition. An art helping, bringing the spirit that started yesterday at night. The greatest care is really between the afternoon period, from 5 p.m. to night, suggesting that we slow down a little, not demanding too much from others. The high expectations in relation to what you expect from the other may end up bringing problems. 3. Attention to the exaggerations of all natures, purchases, drinks, food, and whatever else you can stick your foot in the jacket and then regret it. Let's do this. Make a careful Saturday, which I do here. See you tomorrow.